Battle of the Challenges podcast with Vincent Cloud.
And Scott Allwood. He did this. I don't know if you saw it, but he's like,
this is All Stars. This is the spinoff. This was We Want OGs. Episode 1, Legends Never Die. Yeah, and I just
and I just have to say, be mentioning everything you do. Apparently,
I just have to say this could have been called the Nostalgia Challenge, but there's nothing challenging about it. I just like as soon as people started to show up throughout this entire episode, just them being there, I was like, oh yes, and it shouldn't be that way. Because I think nostalgia is very cheap. It's been overdone or whatever, but this was just wonderful to see this happening because this is also going to be hit with the harsh reality that these people are older now. And that is, I think, the main juice of the episode where I'm like, holy shit, this is all of a sudden the challenge is very challenging,
I love it. I felt the same way when coming into this episode, just that nostalgia hitting me. And I don't have much of a gripe for nostalgia like it seems you do, but because I embrace it. I'm like, give me everything I used to love, please, all the more. And you're sitting there like, been there, done that. So no, I enjoyed seeing everybody come in here. It's so fun. Tech, I could go, let me see if I got a list of people here when I'm watching this episode. Nope. I do want to point out that when this episode first starts, this editing on this episode is beautiful. It's so perfect. But when it first starts, it's just like showing clips of the past, which I appreciated. We have Wes versus Derek in the dual pole wrestle. Oh, yeah. Kendall winning Inferno. John A, she's there. Big Easy gassing out, which we've seen a million times. They love playing him like Mark. I put Kellyanne, but my autocorrect changed it to Jellyanne. So now I kind of feel like I want to call her Jellyanne forever.
No, I'm jealous of her as well.
You took it a different way. I just imagined her covered in some KY jelly. No, I'm kidding.
Oh. It's right back. The finger. Okay, so yeah, I mean, this is a lot of stuff sprouts out in my mind of like, oh my God, I want to talk about that moment. So let's just try and like go chronologically a little bit. My notes are very skeletal, very scarce. Yeah. How are you pronounce it? Yeah. Are you ready?
Any of those. We can make up our own words if we want to. This is your podcast. If someone says in the comments that you said it wrong, you go, no, my podcast. We say it differently here. What is that pledge? What are you saying there? Oh, that's just one of the words.
I'll tell you behind the scenes. It's up to, it turns out I put in a code throughout all the podcasts, and people like hardcore listeners will figure it out.
People can decipher it, like little Futurama notes, like, hey, what did I mean by pledge?
Oh man. Yeah. What's okay, this is awesome. This is what I like. So all these, let's just say how it is. This is a bunch of old people, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Fighting individually, but not even like a duel. Like, because I wanted a duel-like setting. I kind of get that, but there's only one person. Man, woman, doesn't matter.
I don't like that.
Whatever.
I immediately I'm not a fan of the one winner take all thing. One of the reasons I like the challenge is because there would be two winners or like a team. I always love that. If I wanted one winner, I'd go watch a different show. That's what all the other shows do or don't do. I don't know. I only watch the challenge.
I was there until you were like, I really don't know. I'm just,
I don't. Just angry. Because as I talk, I go, Scott, you don't know what you're talking about. You just watch the challenge.
Well, I really don't know either. I mean, like I asked my brother, I'm like, how many winners are there on a Big Brother? You know, that sort of thing. But yeah, apparently it is individual. It's more individual. So good point. It's just, I don't know.
Do you like the one
I
winner?
wanted. Now you're making me question it, man.
What? That's how easily you're swayed? Come on. Back up
Today.
your one winner love idea. Whatever. Platch, man. Come on.
Wow, how quickly I forgot my own word. I was like, what the fuck is that? Okay. Okay, I'll just say this. Like I said, I wanted a duel. I am a huge fan of the duel. But that does mean that, you know what? I'm kind of with you. I want two winners. I want one
Yeah.
female and one male, right? Yeah.
Right. That's what I would like
Yeah.
as well. But this one winner stuff is like, come on. When Darrell's there, no, they don't have a Darrell version of a lady. They don't have a Lady Darrell. What would her name be?
Well,
Hmm.
well, maybe there is, but
Not on this
we don't
cast.
know.
Nobody on this.
No?
No woman on there is going to beat Darrell, and you cannot convince me otherwise. Now, if that happens, I will eat my words. I'll write them down on a piece of paper and eat them live.
We haven't seen anything too individual yet. It's been big teams, and then spoilers. In the second episode, it's I guess it is individual, isn't it? Yeah. Never mind.
I mean,
Moving on.
they're on the team, but it's still, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, like I said, we are meant to bounce off of the notes and not just go freewheeling. That's when we're just
Hey,
like.
I will
What?
say, since we're going in the order of the episode, I wanted to
Yes.
talk about how I'm glad they're in an area that is beautiful. It's like sunshiny and trees, the greens. And recent on the challenge seasons, it's been cold or underground, and that makes me a sad watcher, sad viewer.
Yeah, that's right. You're like, I'm a depressed Dr. Manhattan. I might as well go to Mars about this shit. Twiddle my thumbs on Mars. The shit is going down on Earth. Yeah, I get you, man. Let's start with the notes here. Ace. Okay, so this is the thing. Okay, one winner, right? $500,000, right?
Yes.
Ace has the great line of like, back in my day, these people would kill you for a goddamn scooter. You know, like he instantly makes you remember that, yeah, that was the case. Like they were winning like Chili's points and, little things here and there. And it was just silly fun.
Yeah. I'm looking at my notes, and I believe Katie had the first interview. So I don't know why you're jumping to Ace like some kind of person who's trying to jump through this episode so quickly. Because I was super excited to see Katie. I'm a Katie fan. Right. Katie fanboy over here. So when they showed her, I'm like, oh, Katie. And then they're showing the clip of her like yelling at Veronica. Classic.
True. No, hey, I am a fan as well. I didn't realize that.
It just hurt my feelings a bit when you didn't include her. I love Ace. It just occurred to me. but don't you treat Katie like that, Vince.
All right. I was going alphabetical. You got me all wrong.
Oh gosh, I'm sorry. Here I am jumping to conclusions. This is your podcast. You can do what you want. Who am I to tell you that you should have said Katie first? I'm sorry.
Well, who's next on your list? Because I go straight to the mission. So you have a lot to
All
go.
right, Mark. Mark is on there. He's like, hey, I'm 6'3.5", and I'm like, what? What are you, 14 years old? Why are you saying half? But I love it because now I kind of want to start saying that I'm 33 3/4. So, but I am not that old. Wait, he says he has a size 15 shoe, Vince. How did you not put that in your notes? I was like, what the fuck? Is Bigfoot on here? We got Bigfoot competing in the challenge And you don't put that in your notes? You're wild, man.
I guess so. I'm not a foot guy. I'm not Quentin Tarantino over here, so
Yeah.
it must have got under my nose.
I just watched Jackie Brown last night. Love that movie.
Did you? Awesome. Yeah. I was thinking about that the other day because I saw Robert Forster, I think his name is, on an episode of Magnum PI. There you go.
He's amazing. So good in that movie. But we're not talking about that movie. I just wanted to mention it because I'm a huge fan as well. And then we got Alton coming in around the corner saying, I got a 7-year-old girl and a 5-year-old boy. He doesn't talk like that. He's way smoother and cool. But it was just kind of fun to see that, you know, they all have children. They're all kind of just grown. The only challenge he won was Gauntlet 2, by the way. I'm all over the place. I'm sorry.
That is weird. It is shocking to remember that it's only one, but he did get to 3 finals, I think. Yeah. But the other thing is, though, Alton, I have to correct you. Alton actually said, I have a 5-year-old boy and a 7-year-old girl. And I was like, why did you mention the boy first?
I said 7-year-old girl and 5-year-old
He's the youngest. Boy. Yeah, but don't you get what I'm saying? Way. Yeah. So clearly as a favorite is what I'm getting at. Don't you usually mention like I have a 12-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 1-year-old? You know what I mean?
Oh no, he did do that, and I love that you remembered that. That's so fun because you don't have that straight memory right there. Goodness, I want that memory without my notes.
No, you don't. No, you do not.
Oh my
gosh. You do not want this memory. You don't want my hell.
No,
my
God,
challenge.
You're
hell.
right. You're right. I do not. Because I get away with way too much by having a bad memory, and it's very nice. I will say, Yesella falls on her behind walking out of that RV bus type thing, because it was fun because everyone's like, yeah, we're back. I'm Mark. I'm so big. I'm Alton. I got some kids. And then Gisella's like, whoa. It's just like, oh my gosh. She becomes such a main part of this show, and she was such a non-factor in the old show that it's just kind of like so fun. I love the fact that she's here because I like her a lot.
Yeah, I like her. She is. As soon as she showed up, I was like
her. I like her. What do you read from a teleprompter?
I was stunned because she she trips and falls on her ass, but I don't mind it.
Okay.
So nice.
She is a cutie, man. She's cute.
Yeah. And then I don't know. I think because of my age, I either am exposed to more women that around that age, or more women that around that age expose themselves to me. So it says, yeah. So I'm just like, oh yeah. Like I instantly perked up and I was like, holy shit, that's what it is. When I watched the challenge, the main season, I'm like, oh, they're children. You know what I mean? No, dirty. But now I'm like, oh yeah.
Oh, God. We watched this show in different ways.
All right. Are you done with the introduction?
I'm sorry. I just keep wanting to talk about the people. I didn't do the pre-show with you this time for this one, so I feel like I'm like trying to get that out. I keep saying I will say though. I will say that Cyrus is wearing like a weird leather vest in his confessional. And when I first watched it, I was just kind of like, not even noticing it. But then the person I watched with was like, what's with this leather vest that he's wearing? And I had to like rewind to go, what are you talking about? Oh, that is strange. See, I'm not noticing Cyrus wears some weird leather vest, but I remember the first shot of the episode being like this above shot of the bus and thinking it was super cool as it was following it. I noticed things like that.
Wow.
But not the vest. And we can skip right to the mission at this point. I've wasted too much time talking about all these people and the opening.
I mean, instantly I was like, you know what? I like Cyrus. You know, and he's ageless. He's like this. He's looked the exact same way. He's always been like the old man, but he's basically like Beth or like Alton, where you're
Yeah,
just
they
like
look the
you are
same.
exactly the same. Yeah, yeah.
I like,
All
yeah.
right, let's get into the mission. It's called Deep Blue Dive, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Cold. What do you think about this? Okay, so it's a swimming challenge. You got to do math, which is fine. It's pretty tough in general. It's multiplication, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Did you see some of these uh equations on there? I was like sitting there going, they have to swim to get this number and then see if it even, because they had 211 plus blank equals 639. So they have to go figure this out and then go try to find this number. 408 minus blank equals 211. 34 times blank equals 408. 247 divided by 19 equals blank. That is a hard one.
are you a math guy at all?
No. And this is the first challenge.
Don't get offended.
How dare he ask me about math? Oh.
But all right. Well, what else you got, man? Because this is, I don't know, because TJ says this is, you got to do the math, but then this is the coldest water you've ever been in, and this is the furthest deep you've had to swim, and the blocks are heavier than you ever thought, or whatever. And they're doing this to older people.
Yeah, this was a very tough mission. And as you see when you're watching it, like it looks super hard. When they showed the clip of the person going down, like this is the top of the water, this is the block. It's like 15 feet down, and they're going and pulling up this huge, heavy block. This is no easy task.
No, this is, and it's, well, I guess what I'm getting at is that was the result that the producers were going for was to have these older players just decimated by this thing, because they didn't have to make it so cold. Well, it's not like they had a choice, but you know what I mean? Like they choose where they go. It's location scouting, blah, blah, blah. Put the elderly in a warm, sunny locale, but this was cold. So yeah, I don't know.
I don't think that they necessarily planned for the cold. I think that was just them being irresponsible producers at that point. They could have made it just an easy, because they deal with this a lot on Total Madness. That was the name, right?
Yeah.
They had people,
it was a name for what?
They had people having to be wrapped up in those warm blankets on that season. Like Nelson got almost like super sick because of some water they were going in. Like they don't give a fart about water temperatures. I don't even think it crossed their mind. I'm sure they were like, oh, hey, TJ, that's pretty cold water. Maybe mention it. It's part of the challenge now. We seem like we did that on purpose.
Well, negligence, irresponsibility. Does that sound so strange? What happens though is TV gold. I want to say I was half expecting this to go viral because, like, you're seeing, and it's not old people. When we say old, we're making a joke. These are people that are in their 40s, like 35 into into their 40s.
Yeah,
I don't think there's a Mark Long might be in his 50s.
Yeah, I think he just turned 50.
Cyrus, maybe.
Yeah.
But this is to me, this was must watch. This was like stunt casting sort of shit. Like, watch these children wash a tiger. You know what I mean? Like, it would be like horrifying. Like, why are you doing this to people? It seemed really harsh, but what we got to see was amazing. I just wrote this one thing down about this whole thing, basically. All right. I sum it up as this. This was Dark Knight Rises, where Bruce Wayne is all like, it's like, oh my God, it's 6 years later. So I'm 6 years older and shit. So I'm all busted up and stuff. And then they're like, so this would be a good time to go against the Joker. No. we're putting him against Bane of all people. And Wayne is just like, oh God, like barely hanging on. So it was like that. It was like you really had a concern. This challenge will forever be burned in my mind as like one of the most challenging of the challenges. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. I think that it deserved a lot more praise than what it seems to got, which is nothing at all. I see articles and stuff for it, but I think that's just because I'm so challenge obsessed that I search for that. I see that stuff already, so it's kind of in my algorithm. Is that
Your algebra?
yeah, I think that's the word. It's in my algebra.
Your algebra.
I will say they
soup?
had a. I will say they. God, I need to stop saying I will say. Okay, so they have to pick captains. I don't like this format of picking captains when you're in a team. It reminds me of Vendettas, and I didn't like when they did it there. But they also did teams all the time on Vendettas. Now, if this is like if they don't do teams in terms of like large teams and a lot, I'll be fine with it. But if this continues to be a thing, I'm not going to be happy.
Well, I mean, this was really from Gauntlet 2, where the captain was always the captain, and no matter, like, throughout the entire season. And to me, I like that idea. Some people didn't, but I liked it because it made the captain be a star instantly. Like, hey, William Shatner, that's great. Oh, wait a minute, Picard's going to challenge you to name that coconut, and then he fucking takes out Shatner, and all of a sudden Picard is the captain. I don't know any other captains after that in terms of Star Trek. Sorry.
I did like it on the Gauntlet for that season, but I was just meaning that, like, it was even fine for this mission. I'm fine with it. I just don't want it to be a thing that continues on through the season where they're doing this, because then Zach and Tony, I feel like, kind of took over doing that on the Vendettas and really kind of bullied their way into the top spot each time. And I don't want to get into it. I'm fine with it. Never mind. I'm fine with
it. Because we could go on and I could be like, hey, wrong.
I'm fine with it.
No, there's shades of truth in that sentence there, Scott. But
and see, your memory is better than mine, and mine is distorted so badly.
By what, Scott? All right, do you want to cover the captains real quick and how it came about? Let's do that, right?
Yeah.
Tech, Gisela was like, hey, you want to go in there with like a can-do attitude and shit, and that's how I'm feeling right now. They're like, so you want to be a captain? She's like, sure, yeah. And then Tech is like, I don't give a fuck, sign me up or whatever, give me the camera time. That Van Wilder money's drying up.
I love Tech so much. Love him.
Do you think he still hangs out?
He was doing that.
I like Nehemiah's dance better, just to be on the scoreboard. Yeah.
All right.
Oh, wait, no. Real quick about Tech. Do you think he still hangs out with Ryan Reynolds and Cal Penn?
All the time.
You're being sarcastic. I don't appreciate it.
I don't know, man.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. I've made movies and stuff with people, and I don't sit and hang out with them all the time. So I'm going to assume it's very similar in Hollywood.
That's awesome.
That it's right, that man. I don't hang out with them?
Just that you were like able to justify that. Like, listen, I've been in films.
You don't know.
I've been on the set.
This is how it works. Your feeble little Wisconsin brain.
Okay, let's talk about Laterian and Kellyanne. Laterian, I think he just volunteers.
Laterian, everyone was kind of talking because they had more experienced people on that side. They had Derek, Mark, Kellyanne, Alton. Like those people, Anissa, those people know they don't want to be captain because they don't have full confidence in their whole team. Like, what if we lose? Captains are going to go into elimination. So no one wants to chance that. LT, Laterian, hasn't been around since Gauntlet, so he doesn't get it. There was actually even a moment where he's talking to Nehemiah, and he's like, Nehemiah's like, you got to be political, man. Like, you need to think about this beyond just what you're actually doing. And he's like, no, I'm not doing that. And I was like, what? What do you mean? And this is like exactly what happened, is that he ended up being a captain, right?
Yeah.
And then they lost.
Losing captain.
Yeah. And then he gets put into elimination. So like if he would have had listened to Nehemiah and thought about his decision a little more, I think he could have prevented himself from going in.
One of the great things said during like who's going to be captain and shit like that. Anissa is standing there and she says in confessional, I have by far the most experience. And she does, right? Because she's done so many seasons. She's never left. You know, she really doesn't belong there, in my opinion.
I agree.
But then she's like, after saying all that, she's like, but I'm not going to sign up. Yeah, no shit. I would never expect you to sign up as captain, Anissa. Well, huge shocker. Oh, my gosh.
She doesn't want, like, why are you there? She doesn't want to do anything ever. I don't want to even participate in this because it's not my ass. So whatever. I don't have to win the. Oh,
it's just to appear, that appearance fee.
Yeah.
She's been living off that appearance fee. Yeah. Okay, so the actual Deep Blue Sea. Did we cover anything? Did anything in particular stand out? I remember Kellyanne did bad, but it wasn't her fault. John A. Said the wrong number, so Kellyanne goes down there, and she's good. Like Kellyanne's good, but she can't find the number because it doesn't exist. What's her name? Fuck, I don't even remember her name. I think she was Alton's ex. She's like this super skinny chick.
Irulan?
I think
Irulan? Is that
Irulan? Yeah, Irulan.
Something like that.
She like gets cramped up, and I'm like, yeah, get out of there. I am like, how are you standing?
She's so tiny. I think that's why the cold affected her so much.
Yeah, oh, for sure. Absolutely. But it's not going to stop. Like so many people are going to have to be like lied down. Like everyone loves each other and is trying to, they know. They're like, listen, we're not fucking around anymore. Like this is some serious shit, you know? Like everybody knows. One of the best things before this mission even started, and this is the only thing that I skipped that I regret, is before all this happens in that morning, they are all stretching, Scott. Because as you get older, it's so much more important for that stretch. A morning was dedicated to it. Yeah.
I'm new to stretching. Still trying to figure it out. I have done this one, but not today. And I need to start. So I'm glad that you bring this up. We're older, Vince. We need to stretch.
Whoa.
I'm old. I'm older now, Vince. I need to stretch.
No, I mean, I'd totally be cast in this if that gives anything away. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so do you have anything else to say about the mission, or do you just want to go into it? No? Yes.
I don't have anything else to say about the mission.
Yes.
I love yes.
Yes? There you go.
Well, I guess
yes,
I could say to talk about him. Yes, did a great job. There you go. You happy?
That sounds positive. Yes. All right, let's talk about the house. Holy shit. I think we're starting to drag here. Latarian tells Cyrus, his good buddy pal, he's like, I want Ace because I don't know him. You know, like we don't run the circuits together in terms of like appearance in bars and drinking and shit. I don't think neither of those guys do that, you know? So that's it. We go into nomination, and all I have is that when Ace is, you know, told the news, like, you're all fucking monsters. Fuck y'all.
Sorry. I started laughing immediately because I was loving what you were doing. Continue.
No, that's it. I mean, that was the great thing.
Do it again. Monsters. Y'all fucking monsters.
Yeah. I love Ace, and this was kind of out of character for him because usually he's always chill. But I mean, this is what I felt the whole time. Okay, he always goes out early. That was his thing until Inferno 3, and that's when he got into a final. He didn't go into any eliminations, mind you, So when he comes back and when all this starts to play out for him, I was like, oh, Ace, you never changed. I'm sure you wanted to.
Yeah, I was bummed to see it because, he went out. I don't know why he never came back, but he went out as a finalist. He finally got to a final, and then for him to come back and immediately go into elimination and then unfortunately leave early, it was rough to watch. I was sad because I like Ace and I wanted him to do well.
Yeah. But it's not all terrible. So he says the whole monster thing then, right? But after that, I mean, it's pretty unanimous. But after that is the 90s party. And Ace shows up. He's like, "Oh, I never let you down, or I never held a grudge, or whatever." You know what I mean? Like, so that was cool. That was like, I was like, that's typical Ace. Ace was always just super laid back. I love him, but sadly, he had to return to his roots and just go out early as usual. It's crazy. Yeah. Anything else about the '90s party? Are you a '90s man, Scott?
I loved the '90s. Party.
Oh, the VH1 show?
I enjoyed that as well because I love nostalgia. Gosh darn it.
Oh, fuck that.
So you hated it. You hated the party. I get it. Fine.
No. I can get into nostalgia. I'm just but with the '90s, to me, that's still happening in my mind, Scott. So this is all so weird that all these people that I know were fucking young in their time and shit, and they're like, fuck. And so am I, just watching them. I feel every single creak and every little click when you're bending down. You're like, what was that happening? So I don't know. This episode really made me feel a lot of emotion. It's nuts. Yeah.
Good. That's what it's.
Don't bring me down, Scott.
I'm not trying to.
I know
and
you.
The Challenge All Stars isn't trying to bring you down either, man. They're just trying to let you embrace where you're at in life. Don't
you lie to me, man.
Not the notes.
After this, we have the elimination. Should we go on?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is amazing. So TJ's like, you guys are gonna. Gisela doesn't save Ace. How'd you like that little cut to the Gauntlet 2?
I love every single time they go back and mention anything and then have a clip for it right away. Because I didn't remember that. So cool.
But then part of me was like, Gisela, you know that you quit. You wanted to leave.
Right.
It's not like Ace was being a super dickhole. Ace never was. So I just figured Gisela might have grew up a bit, but no, she held on to that grudge. Just like,
I think she just liked LT more and knew that LT would be I feel like Ace was not going to win this towards anyone, and LT was only going to win against Ace.
Really? Wow.
Who else is in
Hot
there?
take.
Who else is in here that he could have beat? Well, I guess he could have beat Tech. You know what? I never mind. Never mind what I said. That's
Big Easy. How about?
Yeah, I don't think Big Easy would have won either.
Yeah. I could go on.
Yeah. But well, no need. All right, you're right.
Okay, so a what? Oh, that was the greatest part. When TJ's like, okay, you guys are doing a pole wrestle. And they're like, what's a pole wrestle? Like, it was one of the greatest moments. I was just like laughing my ass off. I just paused the video and just laughed. Because like they don't know what a pole wrestle is. And then later on, Ace is like, a pole wrestle. Fuck you guys. Because again, this is hardcore shit. Like Ace apparently, did you read about this? Cracked a rib or broke a rib during this elimination.
Oh wow, no, I did not.
Yeah, it's fucked up, man.
That's crazy.
I just need you to feel sometimes, Scott. Crack a tear for someone. Come on.
I'm a monster, just like everyone on the cast.
All right, round one. Do you remember anything from this at all?
Just that Ace, I thought, put up a good fight, but I was hoping you'd at least get a point, but he didn't.
Well, there was some strategy which I appreciated. I think, well, I guess Ace basically pulled guard and he just kind of fell to his back to kind of bring it down to the ground, maybe wanting to overturn him and something like that, but it just never happened. Laterian just held on to that thing and fucking body slammed him.
Yeah,
that first time.
That looked like it hurt.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you had me on the podcast so I could give out clever, wonderful lines as, yeah, that looked like it hurt.
That's gotta hurt. That's his classic line. A little spin on it. The second round, though, is just body slamming the entire time, almost stabbing him, like plunging him, right? Is that what someone said?
Someone said that, yeah.
Yeah, it was, that was bad. And like, I liked it. I do wish it was something we haven't seen before, but I think this spinoff, because just judging by next episode's mission and next episode's elimination, we're just going to have the stuff we've seen before, like the other spinoff where they were like, oh, you got to do the sausage party thing while you roll around. Like, we've seen that shit already,
right?
You know? But I don't know, the champs versus pros, they did different stuff.
I love the champs versus pros because they did different stuff. And I feel like the challenge itself is starting to rehash things a little too often. So the fact that the All-Stars is doing it now as well, I kind of just bored. Not necessarily bored. I like that they did pole wrestle. I think it was a good idea for the setup just because end it with a banger. It's episode 1. You're going to want to have a good mission and a good elimination. Episode 2, we'll talk about, but I like that they did this.
Yeah. Like, speaking of like repeated stuff, have you seen episode 17 of Double Agents?
I have not.
Oh, you haven't? Oh my God. I was just eventually like, who cares? And I was going to like talk about what happened.
I know what happens though.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. You're one of those types that likes to know the end, weeks in advance.
Yeah.
Well, anyways,
Spoil me, baby.
Such a weird fetish. I mean, a weird interest. No, I was going to say they have a hall brawl again. This is a back to back, man. Like, screw that. Like, I say, put it away in the back for a little bit, right?
It definitely needs shelved after this season. Too many. And for them to give Fessy another one, fuck you. Come on. That's messed up. Like, could you want him in the final more? Get out of here.
That's true. Have you heard anything about people saying the whole thing is rigged for CT?
No.
Ever heard anything about that? No? Okay, that's fine. And what do you care? You know the ending. So you can completely ignore like any headline that pops up. Or like, you mere mortals. You're just guessing. I know. Anyways, I'm trying to say, glad to see you back, Scott, to help me with the premiere of All Stars. Yeah. I love this. I love this fucking episode, Scott. And episode 2 is a totally different story, but this was fun.
I agree. I watched it a couple times, and I normally don't do that. It was so good and so fun.
Oh yeah. All right. Well, I think that's the end of it. Like, subscribe, comment. This was Battle of the Challenges podcast with Vincent Cloud
and Scott Allwood. Thanks for listening.
Is that the end?